Properly waxing your surfboard makes a huge difference in how it looks and how it feels under your feet. My longboard is getting a little bit manky, so let me show you how I get it looking like new with a fresh coat of wax. First things first, you're going to want to set your longboard up in the sun if possible for about 5 minutes, depending on how hot it is. That way your wax can get nice and soft and it'll be easier to scrape off. In a pinch, you can use a hairdryer on low to soften the wax. Once your wax is softened, you'll take a plastic wax scraper like this one and start working your way along your board, gently scraping off the gross wax as you go and compiling it into a nice sticky ball. So satisfying, right? This is also a really good time to check for dings that you might not have noticed before. After you've done that, you might think you've gotten off all the wax, right? Wrong. Now it's time to take one of these squishy powder-filled thingies. The brand I'm most familiar with is called a pickle, and you're going to rub it all over your board to see all the spots you missed. Then scrub off the residual wax. It's really important you get it nice and clean, so take your time. Okay, now you're going to want to move your board into the shade or inside. It's really hard to wax a hot board, so save yourself the trouble and find a cool spot if you can. You'll want to start off with a base coat of wax. Even if you live somewhere where the water's cold, you still want to use a tropical wax for the base. Tropical wax is harder, and that makes sure that the first layer will last and your bumps will hold up. I like to start with the classic waffle pattern, making diagonal lines one way all the way down the board, then back up the other way. You can go over the lines a few times to make sure they're legit. Once you feel like you have a solid line pattern, you can switch to doing light circles. You want to get good coverage all over the board from edge to edge, from tail to nose, so just go back and forth, up and down, switching it up until you start to see these bumps forming. Think you're done? This is where most people go wrong. You need to keep going. You want to build up a really nice bump pattern with the base coat. It should look something like this. I usually use about 1/2 to 3/4 of a bar for the base coat. Okay, now you'll want to switch to whatever wax temperature you need for your water, so I'm switching to extra cold. You want to do the same thing as before and build up the coverage even more for the top coat. Probably about another 1/2 bar, depending on your board size. You can keep going a little more than this if you want. I wax my board every time I go surfing, so it'll keep building and building until the next time I clean it off and re-wax it. Usually, this is every couple months for me. Let me know if this video helps, and I promise if you properly wax your longboard, it will make a huge difference.